What do you think, we're in a horror movie?
Yeah, you guys are right. I mean, if we were, they'd probably cast some dingbat like Jennifer Love Huge Tits to play me.
Yeah, they cast people in the late 20s, early 30s to play us.
Welcome back, fans, stalkers, and strangers, to the Complete Guide to Horror Movies podcast. Today, we are finally reviewing your most requested episode. We've seen all your comments on our TikTok, our Instagram, yes, even Facebook, even though Facebook is a bit of a dead page for us. We're going to be talking Scary Movie. The 2000 horror comedy parody movie starring Faris, Regina Hall, Jon Abrahams, Cheri Oteri, and plenty more people, including Shannon Elizabeth, who we also know is from 13 Ghosts and American Pie.
Unbelievable!
Scary Movie follows a group of teenagers as they try to figure out who is killing them one by one. This, to me, is just such a fantastic movie, so I can't wait to get into it.
Aw, shut when you think about it.
Now, this is a movie that I absolutely stand. It is so fantastic. It is such a great parody. And there's so many movies and parodies. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, 70s movies, 80s movies, and also pop culture references. Like, we have everyone from Carmen Electra to specific TV commercials, The Matrix. And I guess for me, overall, this is the king of horror parody movies. It's also the king of comedy parodies. Two of the 6 writers from this movie went on to do Date Movie, Disaster Movie, Meet the Spartans, and they were just all absolutely shit.
Shit happens.
I will defend Vampires Suck, though. That's probably the only funny-ish thing they've done.
Do I smell?
Yeah, like tuna.
Lunch.
Absolutely love this movie. Saw it for the first time at your place. Very fond memories. I don't feel like they've ever topped it from here. Other movies in the franchise are good, but this is just the absolute peak of sort of what they did. So, yeah, love this movie, and it was a joy to revisit.
Hey, would you settle for PG-13?
What's that?
Oh, gee!
Night, Bobby.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer watching this, late in primary school, people would talk about it, but I didn't know what it was about. So I don't know, it must have been year 7 or 8 when I watched it. But yeah, I still think this is like top tier parody movie. Nothing will top this. The future sequels do a good job in some, but not all areas of the film, which is what this does a really good job at. And you can clearly tell when, the Wayans brothers, as they remove themselves from the series later, in 3, 4, 5, you can definitely tell like the quality is definitely dropped, which is quite a shame.
I'm on TV! Oh, shit! First cops, now this? Oh, man, I'm be a star, son!
But no, this movie does everything really well. I still think there's some scenes in this that are as good, if not better, than the parody movies that they're making fun of. Blair Witch is one of them.
I'm so scared right now. I just want to say to the family of my cameraman, Kenny, I am so sorry. This was my interview, my story. It's all my fault.
I find if I try to rewatch like the original Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer, which, by the way, is getting a requel sometime later this year or next year with Jennifer Love Huge Tits and Freddie Prinze Jr. or whatever. But, I can't watch those movies without thinking of Scary Movie. So that's how you know this movie has done it well.
Oh my God, we hit a boat! Where's the foot?
absolutely love Brenda when she's at the movies and she's screaming. That whole thing's a parody on Jada Pinkett Smith in Scream 2, and it's a parody of a parody, so better on better on better. It's like an Inception, a KFC within a Taco Bell, all that jazz. But then I just really love Anna Faris and Regina Hall. I feel like those two characters work so well together because, yes, they are parodies of Jennifer Love Hewitt and Brandy in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Fun fact, so Brenda was actually originally called Brandy in Scary Movie, but then they changed it, I think, for legal purposes. And like, just such a great dynamic. Even that one scene where Brenda's like, ugh, I don't know why you hang out with her. She is such a hoe. And then Buffy comes up. She's like, what is up, my sister?
Yeah. It's like, mwah, mwah.
Yeah, that's like, it gets referenced all the time, but it's like every time I see that dynamic, I'm like, oh, I know so many people like that, even now in my 30s, that I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a Brenda. She's a Buffy.
Yeah.
I'd much rather help my fellow man than some
Better
animal.
dollar?
Oh, get away from me, you bum!
Buffy, can't you see he's just hungry? Here you go, sir. A nice sandwich for you. See?
I said $1, bitch.
Ow!
The scene where Buffy gets killed is amazing. And just they're just making fun of it the entire time. The fact that even when you cut her head off, she's still talking. It's brilliant.
Oh, now what? Oh, I guess this is the big climax. Hope you don't mind if I fake it. Oh, look at me. I'm all dead. I'm a gross, scary, severed head. Come on, please. Do you know who I am? I'm Miss Teen. You're really giving me a headache.
The cop is also another good character. The with the pictures and fucking hell. yeah. That. Are you sure about that? Yeah. just make sure. Yeah. Rough. But yeah, it doesn't fail that pit in particular doesn't fail to make me uncomfortable every single time. I'm like, oh god, fucking hell. Yeah, all of the characters are good. Yeah, but as you said, Justin, Brenda and Cindy are amazing. Everything that Ray says is amazing.
Will this shirt make me look gay?
Nah, man.
What about now?
Nah.
Cool?
Yeah.
I live for the scenes with Gail. I just think they're hilarious. Even like the opening where it's like one student dead and she's like, that's it. And then like just shoots on the screen, like 2 dead. And then when she's like at the car, interviewing the girl, it's like, where's your boyfriend? And then, she's like, oh, he heard a noise. And she's like, do you think maybe he's been killed? And she's like, no way. And then she's trying to like interview the killer. And he's like, I got a job to do. Da-da-da-da.
Oh my God, Kenny! Kenny, move your fat ass! Kenny! Oh God, he's right behind
This man is chasing me again!
The scene with Miss Nan, I think it is. Is that what it is? Miss Nan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she's sniffing like the underwear when she walks in. Yeah.
You can take your bra off.
Yeah. And then with the ball sack, and she's like, oh, ball, oh. Yeah, nah. And even it's like, hey, Cindy, your ass looks fat. And then it's like, who got to feel? And then Kenny's like, it was so juicy and tender. Yeah, there's so many scenes in this movie that are funny, but I just think Gail does such a good job with it. But yeah, it's like my top ones at the moment.
This little piggy went to the market, all right? This little piggy stayed home. Now, this little piggy doesn't roll the goddamn camera. I'm gonna put my foot up his fucking
Well, I
ass.
get
Gail Hailstorm standing out front of the police station where I'm going to try and get a glimpse of Cindy Campbell, the young girl who was attacked earlier this evening. You're on my foot, fat shit!
It's also like the little things that she does in this movie, like when the police are having the conference and she's like, sheriff, and she picks up the other journalist's pen and throws it. Like, she's just such a great character actress.
Hey, Gail. Gail swallows.
Kenny, get the camera ready. Here, hold my arm. She just spits it out. kind of wish they played more on the Blair Witch parody, because it's just that one shot, which, you know, is prominent in the Blair Witch movie, but I'm trying to think of like how they would have weaved it in. Coop, do you have any least favorite parts?
No.
Easy.
Moving on.
Yeah.
And BP?
Can't really think of anything. I think they did a good enough job with the time given, and I think it's a good amount of parody films that they did. They didn't overkill it either. So, yeah, this is, as I said, top tier parody film. Nothing has and will top it. Mark my words.
This is about the time I puked green slime and masturbated with a crucifix. It was my first keg party, Bobby.
There's some really interesting trivia for Scary Movie. So the original script featured a cameo role for Jamie Lee Curtis, as Cindy would discover her hiding in a closet in her house while the killer was chasing her up the stairs.
Grandma! Baby!
At around 42 minutes into the movie, the lunchroom menu at the high school reads "same old shit." I didn't notice that. One of the first scenes in Cindy's bedroom, she says, "Would you like to have a little bump bump?" This line was originally written for Scream, but it was later changed to, "Would you like to have a little raw footage?"
Jennifer Coolidge was offered the role of Miss Man, but turned it down.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
She'd be like, hi.
Actually, speaking of Miss Man, so she was also in the music video for Telephone by Lady Gaga. She plays one of the cross-dresser security guards.
Is she the one that says, like, I thought she had a dick or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
Always play front to back.
The most obvious trivia point, which we haven't spoken about, was that Scary Movie was the working title of Scream. So the main movie that it parodies. But then, as we know, Harvey Weinstein wanted to change the title, and there was this whole furor about why would we change it from Scary Movie to Scream? But then, obviously, it worked. So
Everywhere I go, I see the same house.
of course, at the start of this movie, James Vanderbeek, aka Dawson from Dawson's Creek, comes in through the window and is like, "Oh, wrong set."
Yeah.
I've had to explain that cameo so many times to people who aren't aware of what Dawson's Creek was. And I'm just like, weren't you alive at the same time I
we
was?
old?
Like,
I think we are.
we are. We're like, we may as well just like become fossils at this point.
I mean, I know they were probably about our age now when they were playing teenagers.
Yeah. I did personally watch it. I know of it, but it wasn't my... Yeah. What I watched. I think it was like 5 or 6 years older at that point.
No, Bobby, don't.
See, yeah.
Dawson's Creek have this anthology episode where it's all scary horror stories. And I rewatched it the other day. It still mostly holds up, but my God, did it scare me when I was a kid. I was just like, I can't sleep now. Great. The director, Keenen Ivory Wayans, he makes a cameo. He plays the slave in the Armor Star 2 trailer.
I'm the king of the world!
I'm a star too.
The tagline for the movie's poster was "No shame, no mercy, no sequel." When Scary Movie 2 was released a year later, the tagline for the sequel was "We lied."
Sounds like something like a Saw movie would have said.
Yeah, fully.
Or like Halloween kills and ends or something.
Halloween kills more. No.
Oh, it's like Halloween ends.
Infinity.
Halloween ends, or does it?
Hey, Cindy, that was an accident.
Was it, Greg?
released the same year was another horror movie parody called Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. I've seen it. It's not really that funny. I think it's got like 2 or 3 funny sequences in the whole thing, but it's almost word for word the exact same parody, except they also parody like Never Been Kissed. They parody a lot of other comedy movies, but it's just kind of shit. Like, I mean, when your main star is, what's her name again? Tiffany Amber Thiessen, who was in like Saved by the Bell. I mean, come on.
We'll just pretend it never happened. You know, like the time we got drunk and we went down on each other.
I am a little conflicted what to score this movie because actually, no, fuck it. This is our podcast. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 because it's not trying to be a cinematic drama, historical masterpiece. It's supposed to be a fun movie you watch with friends and you laugh your ass off. And it succeeds. So 10 out of 10 for me.
True.
I'm going to give it 69 dicks through the head out of 10.
Go ahead, do it again.
We'll give it 10 gale hailstorms out of 10. Or actually, no, 10 gale swallows out of 10. There you go.
Gale swallows.
Don't worry, because I never forget. Would you remind me not to do that again?
I think the average is, let's just say 69 out of 10. That's just easier to go with, which is our highest rating ever.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, as I said before, this is the king of horror parodies. I don't think it's ever been like outmatched. It's never had a sequel that's like gone above and beyond what this one has done. It is just brimming with original talent, and so I absolutely love this movie. But also shout out to Gail Hailstorm. I think she's probably my favorite character in this movie now that we've spoken about it. Coop, do you have any final thoughts?
If you haven't seen it, change that immediately. Even if you're not into horror movies, it's I mean, surely anybody could find a way to enjoy this movie, but then again, people are walking out of it in the cinema. So like, I don't know, get a grip, watch it, enjoy it, or don't.
Yeah, that's fair. BP, what about yourself? Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, well, this is a textbook example on how to do a parody film correctly and well, and also well executed as well. I said well a lot. And it also shows the star power of obviously the main actors and the Wayans brothers doing a really good job at this. And as we'll discuss in future ones, the absence of them really affects the quality of the films as they go on. But yeah, it's a good time. It still holds up, 23 years later. Top tier. Nothing, I don't think, will ever top this one. I think they've sort of certified this as a really good parody movie and doesn't take itself too seriously. And it's just a good time. And people, that don't find the humor funny, it doesn't mean the movie's bad. It just, I don't know, it's just personal opinion, but it does a really good job.
Yeah. We'll get into ratings. Viewers, keep an eye out for future episodes. We will also be discussing Scary Movies 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5. We're still a little torn on that one. Like, comment, share, subscribe, react, etc., etc. Follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, all that jazz. And if you hated this movie...
I know you better get out of my face! Out of my face! Out of my face! This is on me up in here. You handle that!
What's your favorite scary movie?
Live from the dungeon, we coming. Y'all best be running, we coming. Y'all don't want none of this gunning. I don't know why y'all be running. I'ma scare the socks off you. For sure the shot stops all you. knock your locks off and chop your watch off you. Lurking in the back like a crook in the black of the bushes, with the rats with an axe and the stacks of wood is. By the garage, the mirage tracks the shadow. My weapon is large for bodies, I'm strapped for battle. My soul is in the crossroads, it hides the feeling. Somewhere deep inside the spirit to rise the killer. I'm too distant to talk, my vicious assault is inflicted in parts to slit you a stick in your heart. I got nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Only way I'm dying is up in flames. I'm stuck in the game. Look at you busting your thing. Shots only get stuck in my frame. I got you not trusting your aim. I never speak, but you can hear me breathe at night. With a hunger and greed for life to deceive what's right. I'm a true killer, a true prison to do business. Live on a booth on a river, droop with news clippings. I only come out when it's time to run out and find an innocent victim inside one house with blinds. I'm Freddy Krueger, Jason and Scream, chasing a dream, looking for a scene to take to the extreme for the means. You better carry your Uzis, it's rare to do me. Everybody scared to view me, I'm scary movie. Yo, y'all want drama? Wanna make a scary movie? Rappers coming in with their team and carry.
This isn't easy for me. I know we've been together a long time, but I found somebody else, okay? I'm in love. Don't look at me like that. We could still be friends. You can come into my room whenever you want. We just can't. No. No! Okay, just one time.